Hi, my name is Bill Scheffler. I'm a realtor with Prudential Professionals Realty.
Hi, I'm Larry Evans, and I'm at Prudential Professionals Realty.
Hi, I'm Maren Humphrey with Prudential Professionals Realty.
I did 23 years in the Army, and in my last tour, I met a guy who I worked for who bought a house every 6 months. If he was there 6 months or 2 years or 10 years at a place. And he was worth about $2.5 million in equity at the time that I met him.
Wow.
Everybody I know in the Army that bought a house everywhere they went, instead of renting, either was able to completely retire because they could take the equity in their previous homes and pay cash for a home when they retired, okay, because they didn't rent. And the mistake I made was I was counting on the stock market, and real estate is much more stable over the long term. It's going to have its ups and downs if they've got a young child. When they understand the house they're buying today in their first 4 or 5 years in the Army will pay for that child's college education 15 years from now.
And when you think about it, especially with military people, they're moving around to places where there is a base of renters coming and going all the time. And there's always going to be people wanting to rent in military areas, Fort Campbell being one of them. So, not a bad idea. Buy a house if you're not going to be here long enough to even make up enough equity to turn around and sell it in a few years. You're probably going to be able to rent it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And pay your mortgage and whatever maintenance bills come along with it, with that rent, and hang on to it and build equity. Like you said, build wealth.
Let somebody else put your kid through college.
Exactly.
And fortunately, in this particular county, as we all know, we have one of the top 4 markets in the country. And so if you've got a strong market, and we do, if you have a market where you can make some money in a reasonably short period of time, 3 to 5 years, when properties are appreciating and not going the other way.
Right.
A lot of the soldiers that I talk to will say, well, when I buy a house, I want it to be my dream house, okay? And that's fine and it's great, but if you wait to buy your dream house before you retire, one of the things people don't realize is when you drop your military retirement paperwork, your eligibility for VA gets cut in half. And so you don't have the buying power at the time you retire that you do now. And if you purchased now, even if you waited until you retired and you were only VA eligible for the half that you normally would be, you can sell and with the equity you have, make up the difference in whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. So if I were to look at a soldier today and say, and they would ask me, what do I need to do to have financial security when I retire? I would say, purchase at least 4 houses during the course of your military career before you retire. And then somewhere in that 20 to 25 year mark when you retire, if you sell them to help your transition into the civilian world. And even now, the housing allowance for the military, the lowest amount is $866 a month now. And that's a $120,000 home, $115,000 to $120,000 home.
Right.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I guess what it comes down to, are you looking in the future to take care of your family and yourself, or are you just focused on the here and now? Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to look to the future and say, what can I do for my family today? And the answer to that is purchase a home.